Dr. Nina Ratcliffe. Dr. Ratcliffe, happy Friday. Very
A very
quickly,
happy Friday to you,
what do
Jan.
you make of the AstraZeneca vaccine at this point? And do you think it's safe to be mixing these vaccines where you start with one and get a second dose of something else?
Well, we don't know for certain. It's important to note that the AstraZeneca vaccine has not been approved in the US, and the currently available data does not allow Europe's main regulatory body to draw any causal link with age groups or gender. There were a very small number of blood clots in women under the age of 60 in the UK, and out of an abundance of caution, not because of serious safety concerns, Britain's advisory board recommended that those under the age of 30 should be offered an alternative COVID 19 vaccine to AstraZeneca. But I want to point out, we want to put this in perspective. The risk of dying from COVID is much greater than the risk of dying from blood clots that may be due to the AstraZeneca vaccine. And also, the risk of clots in healthy women from the AstraZeneca vaccine is less than from birth control pills. However, when we're introducing a new vaccine and trying to inoculate the world, any concerns become amplified and create vaccine hesitancy.
Why is it the AstraZeneca vaccine causes these rare blood clots in women mostly under 60 years of age? Do we know?
Well, we don't know, and we can't make any links. So we're seeing it, and it's a very small number. We have to see a good enough number to make some conclusions. So at this time, it's an abundance of precaution.
Speaking of an abundance, out of an abundance of caution, we saw yesterday with a vaccination site in North Carolina and also Colorado that out of an abundance of caution, they temporarily suspended vaccinations after some reports of some serious side effects. Johnson & Johnson, as we know, just one shot. I'm just curious, does it make it stronger or potentially cause more side effects because it's not administered in that two-dose regimen?
Well, we have to put this in perspective. It was closed early in Colorado after 11 people started having adverse reactions. These were needle phobia, people with history of anxiety, or others who were just feeling lightheaded and fainted while sitting in the car after vaccination. So it can be alarming to hear that a vaccine facility is shut down. But from what we know, the side effects were consistent with anxiety and nervousness. Now, Centura Health, which oversees the site, issued a statement explaining they followed protocols and, again, out of an abundance of caution, made the decision in partnership with the state to pause operations. 9 were treated with juice. More than 1,700 people also received their shots at a site in Commerce City, a few miles north of Denver. So the issues involved less than 0.062% of the vaccinations, and people are monitored at all sites.
Dr. Radcliffe, you've been on the front lines of the pandemic, and as we see cases start to increase in certain states, but also vaccinations rise in many states as well, what are you seeing where you are located there in New Jersey? Have things improved over the past few months for you and your practice?
Well, they have. Every day we're having now record-breaking 3, 4 million people being vaccinated. And those are people who are not going to come into the hospital to get treatment. They're not going to die. They're not going to need a breathing tube. I'm an anesthesiologist. I put in breathing tubes in people who can't get enough oxygen in or carbon dioxide out. We are temporarily throwing them a lifeline in hopes that their body can recover. So the people who are getting vaccinated, we're not seeing them. So the good news is that about 75% of people over the age of 65 have gotten their first shot of a vaccine, and about 50% have gotten both doses, so they're fully vaccinated. So every single day, we're getting more control over this, but we have to stay vigilant. We need to continue to get vaccinated. We need to get rid of this vaccine hesitancy that about 1 in 4 Americans have.
Yeah, it's still a pretty large number, isn't it? All right, Dr. Nina Ratcliffe, thanks for joining us here on this
Thank you for
Friday.
joining us. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Thanks so much.